Hi everyone, Meteorologist Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center here on this Sunday edition of our 19atSIX weekend weather show. We are live wherever you stream, including on Facebook with the Fox 19 Facebook page as well as my Facebook page at Emery WX. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to chime in there. And we're going to go ahead and get things started because we are looking at that holiday forecast getting a little bit wet here into the tri-state. And in fact, I always promise the first few minutes of our 19atSIX weather show to give you your forecast first, meaning that if you are busy, you got plans, of course, it's the weekend, it's almost the start of the week. I want to give you that forecast. That way, if you need to skedaddle or move on out of here, I understand. I'm not in this just for clicks. I'm in this to give you the forecast. And so we'll begin here with giving you that first alert forecast for tonight. We are looking at temperatures dipping down into the 20s. Once the computer loads for me, you'll see here tonight we are looking at temperatures bottoming out down to about 22 degrees. Skies will be mainly clear. Now, if you're going to try to stargaze or anything like that, a little challenging here and there as we are looking at some upper level clouds still holding on across the tri-state. But nonetheless, though, it will be another cold night. Now we go into the day on Monday. Clouds will actually increase through the day as we are warming up to the mid 40s. 45 will be our afternoon high. And we are dry for Monday. However, Monday night, rain will begin to move in. In that updated 7-day forecast, we are tracking temperatures to get even warmer. So Christmas Eve on Tuesday, a slight chance of showers, a high of 46. Christmas Day, 48 isolated showers then. And then we head into Thursday for Kwanzaa, variably cloudy, a high of 53. Friday, going into next weekend, scattered showers will be here across the tri-state with mid-50s for highs and lows in the mid to upper 40s. So looking at a pretty warm holiday week in the forecast. The coolest day is tomorrow with a high of 45. And mind you, our normal high, I believe, is 43 this time of the year. So definitely going to be a warm-up for the last days of 2024. But we will dive into our 14-day forecast. I did update that. And I'll tell you what, big change coming in. And it's going to give us much colder air. And we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But I want to give you that 7-day forecast at least for the bare minimum, just in case if you got plans here this evening. I get it. It's the weekend. Not to mention you might be traveling for the holidays or whatnot. And I want to make sure that you at least get the most out of this 19atSIX weather show. So let's go ahead and dive into our some of the latest conditions here right now. We'll begin with our Fox 19 tower camera. This is going to show us the fact that things are quiet. A lot of traffic earlier. In fact, I was caught into it just because, of course, you get a big game like the Battle of Ohio here in town. You're going to get a lot of folks visiting. Of course, visiting the beautiful city that is Cincinnati. But there's a lot of bumper to bumper earlier on some of the roads and streets here in Cincinnati. But behind me, you can see here, things are nice and quiet out there. Traffic flowing pretty nice. I will say Paycor Stadium looks really beautiful there after that Bengals win. And right now, we have already cooled down into the upper 20s here in Cincinnati. Taking a look right now at our Newport Levee camera, I'll tell you what, that is beautiful. That setting sun there. And I mean, it's just gorgeous to see this. Nice, pretty Christmas colors there at Heritage Bank Center. Also, Great American Towers lit up with green tiara. Otherwise, they're looking nice and beautiful. Looking over at our Turfway Park camera, rather, this is looking nice and quiet. Again, note the high, thin clouds. Kind of hard to see it on this monitor here, but there are some high, thin clouds here, some high, thin clouds there in the horizon, and then some right there. And then also our Mount Auburn camera, which does illustrate this the best. And as you can see right here is where those high, thin clouds are. So a quiet night, a cold night here in the tri-state, but things will drastically improve heading into tomorrow. Now, looking back at today, we did have a high temperature, well, only 34 degrees, which was our first alert forecast here. The morning low was 18 degrees, so very close to what we had discussed this time yesterday on 19atSIX. And yeah, our average high is 42. We're going to go above average for the next several days here into the tri-state for those high temperatures, even for low temperatures as well. I'll tell you what, though, the record, that to me, that number shocked me, seeing that the record low on this date back in 1989, definitely not Taylor Swift's version, 20 below zero. My goodness. Major cold air by that point. Do you remember that date? If so, let me know in the comments on the Fox 19 Facebook page or my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. I wasn't born yet, but I'm sure I'll have to talk to my mom or my dad about that to see if they can recall that what appears to be an Arctic blast here into the Ohio Valley. Right now, though, the cold air, it's much throughout the Great Lakes region and part of the Ohio Valley region. Right now, up in Detroit, 25 degrees there this hour. Pittsburgh, 22. Buffalo, New York, 12 degrees. New York City, 19. Boston, 16. That cold air is going to stay up there as all of this here, that nice teal, even green showing up, that is going to move into the region. But right now, we're still stuck in the upper 20s here in Cincinnati. 30 over in Richmond, Virginia. 43 St. Louis. 51 in Omaha. We get closer to here at home, you can see those temperatures are in the upper 20s and low 30s. The mildest spot is over in Middletown at 32 degrees. Same goes for Harrison. 31 in Hamilton right along the Great Miami River. 31 at the Lunken Airport right along the Little Miami River. 30 down in Falmouth along the Licking River. And 28 over in Batesville, Indiana. Now the winds, they're pretty light, 5 to maybe 10 miles per hour. No gusts reported, thank goodness, because it's already going to feel colder because of those slight winds moving in. So wind chills are generally in the 20s here this evening. CVG, the wind chill at 21. So overnight tonight, again, if you missed it, the top of the 19atSIX, we are looking at temperatures falling down into the lower 20s, perhaps a few teens showing up in some of those rural areas. But temperatures won't drop as much as last night. Still, though, a cold night, 22 degrees. And so for tomorrow, we are looking at clouds increasing, becoming mostly cloudy. Highs will be into the mid-40s. That cloud cover is aided by a warm front moving in. It's going to allow for temperatures to rise pretty quickly despite the cloud cover. But this warmer weather is also going to be a precursor to rain chances that arrive Monday night. We'll dive into that here in just a moment. But first, let's go ahead and dive into our Facebook comments and questions. Darla says, good evening, Ethan. Hope you have had a great day. What time is the rain we're expecting tomorrow evening supposed to arrive? Well, it's going to be after sunset. It looks a little bit later now. It looks like between 9 and 10 from the data I have seen. We'll look at that forecast model data here in just a moment. That's the only question we have on the Fox 19 Facebook page. I'll check my Facebook page real quick at Ethan Emery WX. No comments there. That's a-okay. So, Darla, to answer your question, we are going to go ahead and dive into that now with the updated forecast model. And the moisture that's moving in tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, it looks to be pretty light. We're not looking at any kind of heavy rain. There are no first alert weather days in the forecast. Nothing looks strong or severe. Nothing looks impactful or disruptive for that matter. But we're not looking at any kind of big issues with our forecast ahead. So here's Monday evening, 6 o'clock, still dry for Monday at 6 p.m. We play this out forward in time, though. We head into 9, 10 o'clock. Backed it up just a little bit. 9, 10 o'clock. That rain starts to our north and west. So if you're asking for a timing of rain, a location is also helpful. That way I can kind of give you a more specific. But between 9 and 10, I've been noticing the data showing it starting in our north and west counties. So Fayette, Union, Franklin, Decatur County, moving into the Cincinnati metro between 10 and 11 o'clock. So we'll be tracking that here on Fox 19 tomorrow evening at 10 o'clock news. And you'll see here between 10 and 11, that line moves in. And this is just a wave of energy. It's not a cold front. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's just a short wave, we call it, a trough, if you will, if you've ever heard that term. If not, it's just a wave of energy. Think of it that way. And this wave of energy is going to develop ahead of a warm front that really moves in late Monday into Tuesday. So here is Tuesday. You can see temperatures are in the upper 30s for Tuesday morning. And do note that much of Tuesday is dry. Now Tuesday, I can't rule out a sprinkle, maybe a light shower, particularly in the morning now. I know yesterday I said mainly it looked like Tuesday evening could have the better shot, but now it looks like any chance, if anything, for Tuesday for Christmas Eve, it'll be early Tuesday morning before sunrise. But Tuesday, Christmas Eve evening, going into Christmas Eve night, into early Christmas morning, it starts off dry. So a little after midnight when the kids should be asleep, when Santa Claus is coming in, we are looking at just cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. Now we'll play this forward a little bit. We head into 2, 3 a.m. Note that we are tracking some showers moving in. So Christmas morning, no white Christmas, just a soggy Christmas. But do note that this is not a washout. By that I mean I'm not talking about all day soaking rain. It looks like it's just going to be light showers on and off for Christmas Day morning. And then we head into Christmas midday into afternoon. Do know that the rain begins to lighten up and temperatures will remain in the 40s. And before you ask me, the rainfall totals don't look to be significant. Like I said, this is mainly light activity, both Monday night into Christmas Eve morning as well as Christmas Day morning. So we'll just go ahead and jump this all the way out to Christmas afternoon. Most locations will be anywhere between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch of rain. And mind you, that's a span between Monday evening through Wednesday. We'll back this up. So here's Christmas Eve morning, about 1/10 of an inch. And then we jump to Christmas Day, an additional 1/10 of an inch. So not a lot of moisture out of this. We're not looking at anything heavy. Shouldn't be anything too disruptive for travel. Just do note there will be some wet roads. Obviously, when it rains, you're going to have wet roads. But just something to keep in mind, that it's not going to be a lot of moisture, not enough to cause any major delays for folks who are traveling to and from family or friends for Christmas Day. But we are looking at more rain chances later in the week going into the final weekend of 2024. We'll dive into that here in just a moment. But before we do that, I want to show you that Christmas Day forecast with this graphic I made. I want to show it off because, well, I made it. And just to go to show you that it is going to be warm for Christmas Day. Obviously, the rain should tell you that. But if you want the number, 48 degrees. Fairly light winds out of the south and east, and we've got those scattered showers again in the morning. And could have a few lingering light showers in the afternoon, but most of the activity will be primarily in the morning as just rain. Again, warm, 48 degrees during the afternoon. Take a pause real quick and look at those Facebook comments or questions to see if we have any updates or any burning questions you might have before we move along to the rest of the holiday week and going into New Year's, which will bring some big changes. On the Fox 19 page, no additional comments. It looks like it is just Darla, so thank you, Darla, for tuning in. Appreciate your comment and question. On my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX, Jacqueline said, "Hi, Ethan. Hope travel weather is going to be good on Christmas Day. What are your thoughts?" You answered my question. Of course. Appreciate you asking, of course. But, yeah, it doesn't look to be too busy. It looks like it's just going to be, again, light activity, primarily in the morning. But as the day progresses, it looks like it's just going to be very light on and off activity. Not a lot, maybe about 1/10 of an inch total on Christmas Day. And 1/10 of an inch of rain, perhaps, Monday night into Christmas Eve morning as well. Sarah says, "Hi, Ethan." Hi to you. Hope you're having a good evening. Barb asking, "Is there any snow in the forecast?" Glad you asked, Barb, because we are going to dive into that right now. And what we've got behind me coming up in a moment is going to be our long-range computer model. And this is going to show most of the forecast, no. However, I do want to draw your attention, and you'll see here in a moment, as we go into the late in the forecast. So here's Christmas Eve. I need to pull this thing up, that way I can not look like a idiot. Here we go. So here we have Christmas Day morning. Some scattered showers in the morning, on and off in the afternoon, pretty light activity. We go into Kwanzaa on Thursday. Sprinkle can't be ruled out, but much of the day does look dry for Thursday. We head into Friday for this 27th. Starts off dry, but Friday afternoon, Friday evening, rain begins to move in. This will continue on and off into Saturday the 28th, and then also on Sunday the 29th. So for the Bengals game on Saturday, and yeah, it's a Saturday game for the next home game against Denver, a must win. Not only do the Bengals have to win out in order to get in the playoffs, but Denver has to lose all of their games in order for the Bengals to even have a chance to get in the playoffs. But anyway, wet for Saturday for that game. Sunday looks wet as well, primarily in the morning. And then we head into the 30th, Monday of the following week. Scattered light showers. We head into Tuesday, New Year's Eve. That system, if you watched yesterday, I talked about this system here and how it's going to be the beginning of big changes. This is going to move in New Year's Eve as rain. We head into New Year's Day. It still looks like rain. The rain-snow line is very close. And I will say this might be an evolving forecast where New Year's Eve night and New Year's Day, we could be looking at conditions just to our north, or perhaps even here in the tri-state, seeing some colder air where we could see a rain-snow mix. Now, considering how warm it's going to be starting tomorrow, all the way up until this point, I don't expect there to be any kind of major travel issues. However, this is a sign of colder air, the beginning sign of colder air. So this is New Year's Day, and it stops there, unfortunately. But all this colder air here around this area of low pressure is going to move in, draw in some colder air, and we do have opportunities for snow in the forecast, Barb. In fact, I will show you that on the 14-day forecast here right now. We'll begin with the 7-day first, and then we'll dive into the 14-day. That way you kind of get a holistic view of what to expect here for the next 2 weeks once the computer cooperates with me. So here is the next 7 days. You'll see temperatures are going to warm up every day. 45 Monday, Christmas Eve Tuesday up to 46 degrees, and then Christmas Day, 48 for an afternoon high. Isolated showers, it's also the start of Hanukkah. Then Thursday for Kwanzaa, up to 53 degrees, cloudy skies, and again, a slight chance of showers, can't be ruled out. Friday, scattered showers and 55. Saturday for that Bengals game against the Broncos, again, rain, 57 degrees. And then Sunday, scattered showers, morning low of 49 and an afternoon high of 56 degrees. So that is the 7-day forecast. Now let's go beyond the 7-day forecast. And as you can see, temperatures are going to drop. So I mentioned the 30th, we got that warmer air still, 51. New Year's Eve, rain moving in, 50 degrees. New Year's Day, right now it looks like rain, but right now I'm on the warmer side of that. I think kind of the pattern we're currently looking at in the direction of that low, I would not be surprised if that area of low pressure is more further north towards the Great Lakes region. It's kind of been happening that way. So I think it's going to stay as rain on New Year's Day, but we're going to keep an eye on that. That could change. If that low sinks further south, we could be looking at more snow opportunities here into the area. But we are looking at, obviously, some colder air moving in behind all of this. And so for Thursday, January 2nd, almost at December, it's going to be hard getting used to that the first few days of the new year. But Do note, morning lows in the low 30s, afternoon highs in the upper 30s. I think we could have a rain-snow mix potential on January 2nd. January 3rd and January 4th, we are looking at moisture in the region. Can't do specifics, can't talk about anything more than just the fact there's a chance of flurries or light snow showers. If you're asking for amounts, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not even going to tell you there's a chance of that because right now it's just too far out. There's so many variables that come into play with snow forecasts. If anyone gives you a snow forecast of amounts this far out, they're not professional, they're not good. That's just how it goes because as good as science, modern science is, snow forecasting is probably the most challenging thing when it comes to amounts, especially 12, 13 days out. But regardless, there's a chance of snow showers and it's cold. In fact, colder air I think is the bigger story right now for January 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Highs in the lower 30s, lows in the mid-20s, and I will say going beyond the next 2 weeks, colder air looks to stay here into the Ohio Valley through the middle of the month of January. So if you're curious, yes, colder air will return, and it's going to come with a vengeance because it does look to stick around for more than just a couple of days. But we are definitely looking at some decent changes here into the tri-state starting into the new year. So hopefully, Barb, that answers your question. We'll go ahead and pause real quick and look at other questions or comments on the Fox 19 Facebook page as well as my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. Sarah adds, hope you're having a good evening as well. Thank you. So far, can't complain. Barb says, Ethan, you and your family have a wonderful Merry Christmas and New Year. Thank you very much. In fact, I'm going to see some family tomorrow and Tuesday because just for the fact that my schedule in TV is always ever changing and never consistent with holidays, they're able to come see me. So I'm very thankful for that. But thank you, Barb. Much appreciated. Darla says, Merry Christmas, Ethan, to you and your family. Thank you very much. You as well. James says, I like this guy. Hey, thanks, James. I appreciate that. No nonsense forecasts from me. All right, let's take a look at my Facebook page real quick to see if there's any additional comments there. No, just from Jacqueline. No other comments there. And again, if you have any comments or questions, I'm always open to those. Of course, if you ask them respectfully. If you're disrespectful, I'm not going to tolerate it. But most of the time, that's not an issue here. That's why I like doing this. Okay, so that is the 14-day forecast. What I'm going to do next is show you the 7-day plus, which gives you all 14 days, which gives you the highs, the lows, and what is normal. Just that way you kind of get a visual representation of if we're above or below normal. And obviously with the warmer air, you can obviously tell that the next roughly 10 days, we are going to be above normal for highs and lows. But going into the beginning of the new year, New Year's Day, we're closer to normal, but then the 2nd through the 5th, obviously below normal with highs in the low to mid-30s and lows in the mid-20s. That is a 7-day plus. And with the warmer air, obviously, unsettled rain chances. I'm not looking at anything severe. In fact, the only day that even has a risk of thunder is Sunday, the 29th. Highs will be in the mid-50s for that. Other than that, though, I have not seen any risk of stronger storms. I know Rachel chimes in from time to time. Hopefully you're watching. If not, I understand. But not looking at any kind of severe chances. We're not looking at anything like that. We're not looking at any kind of winter storm threats right now. Nothing like that. It's just a pattern of warm and wet, cold and mainly dry. The exception, of course, like I said a little bit ago, is the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th have the opportunity for some snow showers. Of course, that far out, there are just too many unknowns, too many variables to have any details on it, other than we've got a chance for some snowflakes coming down at that point. So while we're at it, I do want to show you that cool map that I show every once in a while. to kind of reinforce this colder air and the fact it's going to stay around with us over the next, well, through the middle of the month of January. So this is what's happening right now. Today we were cold, obviously, but do note we have before we begin, if you're new, this map, what we call geopotential heights, kind of a sciencey thing to make it very brief and very simple. These are the measurements of heights in the atmosphere. The atmosphere is not uniform. The warmer air, less dense, rises. Colder, more dense air sinks. In fact, hotter doesn't necessarily rise. It's just a response to colder, dense air. And so you get this unbalance. You get this different air masses. You have the colder air masses, which are lower heights, the colder blue or shades. And the higher heights, the warmer air is in shades of red, orange, yellow. And the transition, and especially the major transition here, the rainbow kind of look, that is where a jet stream is. Generally, not always, but generally speaking in this case. This is the Arctic air. This is the kind of mild air, and the tropical air masses areas in orange and red, so much further south. But what we've got coming up on Monday is warmer air going to try to move in. And a quick thing is that if you see backwards U, so like this, that's a ridge. If you see a U shape like this, that's a trough, or an area of low pressure and cold air. So let's go ahead and play this out. You see that Monday, during the day, you've got this little ridge here. That's that warmer air moving in. And you do note this right here, that U, that's a trough. However, this is part of a wave of energy that's going to move in Monday night into Tuesday. Like I said, it's not a front, not going to bring in any kind of massive changes for us other than that rain chance. That'll move on by for Tuesday. But then, note, we've got this ridge, this warmer air. It's going to move in Tuesday into Wednesday. We play that out, head into Christmas Day. We go into Thursday for Kwanzaa. Look at that, really warming up. By the end of the week, we are going to see highs in the mid-50s, even upper 50s at times. And you'll see here that this ridge kind of holds on. We get really close to that orange, even. And by the way, if you're seeing these little dips here and there, they're not really strong, and that's those waves of rain chances moving in. Just if you're curious. The colors is kind of what I'm focusing on here to kind of give you the different air masses that we're working with. So here's the 27th, Saturday, 28th, or I guess the 29th here for Sunday. You could see we're starting off with that ridge, so over here, but then we have this cooler air mass trying to work in. And usually when you're split between the U and the backwards U, or upside down U, is where you have the chances of rain. So right here, we have that frontal system moving in. And that is going to allow for the rain and even chances of thunder on December 29th, next Sunday. We head into the day before New Year's Eve. Note that we are looking at this trough, or this cooler air, trying to work its way in. It's nothing drastic, but we will begin to note that temperatures on the 30th begin to go down a little bit. Still in the low 50s for Monday, but still a downward trend. Again, that's because of the more dense air working in. We head into New Year's Eve. That cooler air mass beginning to sink further in. And then for New Year's Day, it's still holding on. But if you're paying attention right here, north of Lake Superior in Canada, you back this up a little bit, this colder air mass is getting stronger. It's kind of a response. When you're looking at climate stuff, there's always a cause and effect, a response to something happening. This is a response. It's going to allow for much colder air to sink into the region. And that's why we're going to be dealing with temperatures in the 30s going into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of January. So that's the sign of that colder air mass. And do note we call it the polar jet, the jet stream. It separates between the yellow and the green. This is where that jet stream is. So it's kind of like right in here. So the jet stream, but separating the colder and milder air mass, is much further south. So we're going to be in that colder air mass here. And if you're traveling over towards Bermuda, well, it's going to be a bit more mild there in comparison. But that's what we're working with. That's why the forecast does show signs of colder air. And do note, too, that you have this colder air mass here, and this will eventually funnel in, kind of give us that reinforced shot of colder air by the first weekend of January. So this is the 1st, so that'd be the 5th and the 6th of January. Much colder air mass moving in. So one more time, we'll take a look at that 7-day and 14-day forecast before we sign off here. A quick note, light rain chances Monday night into Christmas Eve morning. Not looking to be anything heavy, maybe a 1/10 of an inch of rain then. Christmas Day morning, so early Christmas Day morning after midnight through the day on Christmas, scattered light stuff, scattered light rain. Amounts for that also look to be about a 1/10 of an inch. So in total, between tomorrow evening all the way through Christmas Day, we could be looking at upwards of a 1/4 of an inch of rain. So not a lot of heavy rain in the forecast. And then we go towards the end of the week into next weekend. We are looking at more widespread activity moving on in. That's the 7-day forecast. We'll dive into the 14-day forecast in a moment. Do want to take a look at some of those Facebook comments and questions before we conclude our 19 at 6. No additional comments on the Fox 19 Facebook page. We'll look at my Facebook page real quick. No additional comments there either. So what we'll do is look at the 7-day, the 14-day, and then we'll close things out here. So that's the 7-day forecast. I'll read it off to you in case if you can't see and you're just listening behind the scenes. 45 for Monday. Clouds will increase through the day after a cold morning low of 22. Monday night into Christmas Eve morning, we only fall down to 38 degrees with some widely scattered rain showers into the tri-state. Christmas Eve day, during the daytime hours, only a slight chance for a sprinkler light shower, high of 46. Then going into Christmas Day, as well as the first day of Hanukkah, we're looking at isolated showers, most of which is in the morning, but the afternoon could also see the potential for an isolated shower. High of 48 degrees after a morning low of 39. Going into Christmas night, into the morning of Kwanzaa, which is Thursday, morning lows will be in the low 40s. During the day, we break into the low 50s, variably cloudy for Thursday. Friday, scattered showers, mainly in the afternoon. Morning low of 44, afternoon high of 55. And then for next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, morning lows in the upper 40s and highs in the mid 50s, with both days seeing widely scattered showers, rain showers at that. But that is the 7-day forecast. Now, we'll go beyond the 7-day forecast. So Monday, December 30th, mostly cloudy, a high of 51. Tuesday of New Year's Eve, rain activity moves in, so scattered rain showers, a high of 50, morning lows in the low 40s. New Year's Day, morning lows in the upper 30s, afternoon highs in the mid 40s. Looks like rain for New Year's Day. New Year's Day night, though, into the 2nd day of January, that Thursday, we could be looking at a rain-snow mix. Morning lows close to freezing at 32. Afternoon highs will be in the upper 30s. January 3rd and 4th, highs in the mid-30s and lows in the mid to upper 20s. Could see a few light snow showers both days. And then January 5th of Sunday, cloudy skies and a high of 31 degrees. So that is the 14-day forecast. So if you don't like the warm air, just wait little over a week, about 11 days, we will look at temperatures back in the 30s for afternoon highs. But coming up tonight on Fox 19 News at 10, I'm going to dive into this, maybe make a couple of tweaks if necessary. Also give you the updated travel forecast if you're traveling across the region and across the country for the holiday week. And then, of course, we're also going to dive into the forecast for the Bengals game coming up next Saturday against the Broncos. And, of course, we'll also give you your latest news and sports headlines right here on Fox 19 at 10 o'clock. We're going on time tonight, fortunately. But join us then. And, of course, if you want that First Alert forecast, we've got you covered anytime on the First Alert weather app, as well as on fox19.com/weather. And, of course, the Fox 19 First Alert 24/7 weather streaming channel. Have a wonderful Sunday and also happy holidays to you, your family, and friends.